I think something that was very difficult or like caused me extra stress. I feel like some of them might be, frustrated.
I feel like that let them down.
Yeah, like not very happy, and I feel like I don't want to waste their time,
This is Making Lemonade. Welcome to Making Lemonade, the show about the lives of musicians in Singapore making the most of their performances that have changed their lives or just plain sour. I'm your host, Lemon Wayne. Hey, I heard there's a show called Making Lemonade. I'm from the Anti-Fruit Cruelty Association. Our name of the show is just a name. You have to stop that right now. I'm gonna shut down your show. We'll deal with that later. Today we have Likie Lo. So Likie is a dance music artist / producer and Erhu soloist. She won a songwriting competition hosted by Hitmaker Global Academy and the International Seakeeper Society, and a second place in the 23rd The Dream competition in 2021. Her new album is called Let the Brass Drop and adds brass instruments to her combination of dance and symphonic music. Likie Lo. Okay, Likie, Lemon Wayne wants to perform for you. So this is my impression of what. So Likie has done a lot of Chinese music fused with EDM. So I'm gonna give her my impression of what that sounds like. Wait for the drop. Stop it. How was that?
That was great.
Compared to like
Yeah.
the stuff that you do.
I think that's so much better than the stuff that I
Better
do.
than the stuff that you do. Okay, so we want to get to know Likie a little bit better. So for the audience, we're gonna do a series of rapid fire questions of 8 questions. Are you ready?
Okay.
Okay. Bach or Jay Chou?
Jay Chou.
Mozart or Avicii?
Avicii.
So this is a predicament. Baldness or never talk again?
Baldness.
Baldness. Okay. Local food recommendation?
I don't know.
It's okay.
Eat prata.
Prata, okay.
Is that local?
Okay. Yoga or CrossFit?
CrossFit.
Oh. Best thing about being a musician? Okay, you can take a little bit of time.
Best thing about being a musician is that I have more freedom than usual. Okay, not usual. I shouldn't say usual.
Okay, we'll talk about this later. What does she mean? Favorite EDM producer?
Oh, Kashmir, for sure.
Kashmir. Okay, between you and me, who do you think can blow up a balloon first?
Oh, you, definitely.
Yeah. I play wind instrument, okay. Quite interesting. Your local food recommendation was prata. You like to eat prata?
Yeah, I do.
Which prata? What kind of prata? Kosong prata or egg prata or mushroom prata? Onion prata?
I do not like mushroom.
Doesn't like mushrooms.
I like kosong prata.
Kosong prata. Is it like the crunch?
Yeah. Cheese
What
prata.
kind of? Cheese prata.
I think that's very nice.
Okay. Yeah. Why you don't like Mozart? Aren't you like from the conservatory?
Mozart.
So Likie is a music and music collaboration and productions major. She was a composition major, as I also was a composition major. So yeah, so why you don't like Mozart? You are supposed to, you're in the conservatory.
Okay, it's not that I don't like Mozart. It's just your choices was Mozart and Avicii. So I'm an EDM producer, so I will definitely choose the EDM producer.
So what is it about what is it about dance music that you enjoy? Say more. Yeah.
I think dance music gives people a high. Like I've seen my friends who can't drink but go into club and then into clubs and then when they hear dance music they just dance. They don't really need alcohol. So it's like a organic alcohol. You don't need to put it in your body, but it just gives you a high.
Yeah, I think a lot of people have that experience. I think that's a relatable experience, right? Like to go to somewhere and then like the music really kind of moves you. I think I want to ask about your favorite EDM producer.
Okay.
Yeah, what's So for people who don't know, Kashmir is how do you spell it?
KSHMR.
KSHMR. Not So like without all the vowels. So like, is that one of your inspirations?
Yeah, I think he inspired me a lot because since like when I started EDM, then I didn't actually want to go into EDM until I heard his tracks, because he does like Indian music with EDM also, so he also fuses these things.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and in his shows, like he uses these instruments, acoustic instruments with his set. So
I see. So that's kind of what like brought you to have the idea of like adding different types of instruments to EDM as well. Like first, you added your own solo instrument, the Erhu, right?
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit more? Like, since a lot of us are a little bit uncultured, so we want to know what is the Erhu?
The Erhu is a 2-stringed fiddle, which is a Chinese instrument. So a lot of people like to call it Chinese violin, but I don't really think that it's a Chinese violin, because it's not really a violin, because a violin has 4 strings. It's just a Chinese 2-stringed instrument that you play on your lap. Oh, was I supposed to bring it here?
No, you weren't supposed to bring it here. We'll put a picture of it here.
Okay. So you play on your lap, and then the bowl is between the 2 strings. So again, not a violin, and you just you just play it with your right hand.
Yeah, okay. So you also played a lot of solos with the Erhu. What are some pieces that we can maybe listen to, or are like signature of like the Erhu?
I mean, the top of my head are the pieces that I have performed, which is, one of them is called like the Brave Spirits of the Snow Mountain. In Chinese, called Xue Hua Piao Piao. So it was a piece it was a Erhu concerto piece that I played in 2016 with Singapore Youth Chinese Orchestra.
So for those who don't know, a concerto is like a piece where you kind of showcase the soloistic or virtuosic. Sometimes it's also like emotional, like range of a performer as a soloist in front of a group like a orchestra. So Likie has also performed with the YST Conservatory Orchestra, playing one of the professor's piece. What was it called?
It was called San Ren Xing.
Concerto for
Erhu, Zhongran, and percussion.
Okay, so go Google those instruments. Okay, so now we want to talk about the main event. We want to ask you about your new release, Let the Brass Drop. So the name Let the Brass Drop, that's quite an interesting name. What? Can you tell us more about that?
Because my EP was... So basically this EP is my experiment to fuse like electronic dance instruments with brass music. The actual concept of it was brass instruments. But then I realized that actually if you add strings inside, because I wanted to do more cinematic stuff, or like, have more timbre, more color. So if I add some string instruments, then it's more refreshing.
So the title is kind of a lie.
It's not a lie, because
I was just expecting brass instruments, and actually brass instruments are quite heavily featured in the album.
Yes.
But I didn't. Okay, so you also wrote for strings. So it should be Let the Brass and strings drop.
Yes, but brass instrument is the feature for the album. So I was trying to look for a like EDM and a brassy name. So like, EDM, they always say let the bass drop.
Yeah.
So it was like, this is perfect, because I just put an R in the middle. And then
I think that's a good play on the words that were there. So this album was kind of inspired by Kashmir and that kind of style, or like have you made your own? What's Likie sound?
Well, this album was not inspired by Kashmir. No, actually a lot of my music are inspired by Kashmir.
She's totally original.
It's a little bit inspired by Kashmir, but the inspiration is more because of my 2 years in composition. with you in YST
Okay.
that I realized that I really like the brass instrument, the brass sound. So it was inspired by that. And then before this album was actually even considered to be in the making, I actually did a show in 2020, January, before COVID, where I performed Erhu with like 2 trumpets and 2 trombones at Esplanade. So I thought that was pretty cool. Like people were listening, people were vibing to it with EDM, and I just thought to maybe build a bigger brass ensemble.
Yeah. Where can we check out this video of yours of the performance at Esplanade that you're talking about?
Well, I put it on my website, so it's just
good
likielo.com.
plug. We'll play a little bit of the video here and you can check out the rest of it on Likie's website. And we're back. Okay. When life gives you lemons. So I have to ask you, what is the most challenging thing that you have done in this project? Like I saw you when you were making the EP, it was kind of a really, really monumental project. There were a lot of moving parts. And so like, what was the craziest thing that you had to do?
There's a lot of crazy things that I had to do. Like, firstly, when the project started, so I have a, I don't know if I should say this, but I'm just gonna say it. So I have a habit like that when I have an idea, right, I will just start working on it and then I'll stop because
Is it like a song idea? Or
no, like a
a
project idea.
Okay.
Yeah. Then I'll just start working on it and then after a while I'll stop because I have a new idea. But this time, because it's for school, I cannot have a new idea because I have no time to stop and start a new idea.
So this project was part of one of the MCP projects, is that right? Music collaboration and project production.
So I guess the the craziest part, which is also the most fun part, was to create all the music because I thought like, I composed, so this should be a breeze, but I was wrong because I had to make sure that everything fits because it's a recording. It's not like a performance, like a one-off thing, but it's a recording. So when I do my tracks and do the brass or the acoustic stuff, I have to make sure that it all fits in somehow. So that there's like no clashing
harmonies or notes,
frequencies or whatever. So I had to make sure that everything was in place.
So kind of what Likie's talking about is like in the process of composing a piece, there's a lot of different segments to take care of, and kind of writing for different instruments is so different. So like she was saying, like writing for the brass, like in this let the brass drop. So was it challenging to? Was it a new kind of thing that you were writing for, new type of instrument, or had you had experience writing for it?
I mean, I did have experience arranging for it for my Esplanade show last year, but this time I had to create everything new from my head. So and it was very difficult because it was November and December. I did 5 tracks in like about 6 weeks or so, and I had to write the acoustic part and produce the electronic part on the digital audio workstation at the same time to make sure that there's no wrong notes or anything, because if there's one wrong note I have to go to the score and change it.
So technical. So by acoustic she means the brass instruments. They are acoustic instruments, which means that they sound in real life, and then digital instruments are electronic instruments. Okay, so I think the other thing that I wanted to ask you about that I saw was like really, really like a big stress point. I think it was the filming of the music video, right? So first time filming a music video, and also without much help. How was doing that?
I think I could have planned better because I thought that I could do it by myself, but obviously I was wrong because there were 14 musicians plus a conductor, and then there was also another solo piece for trombone, which is not backing track, which had no backing tracks, and it was like just a contemporary piece with a lot of tempo changes or whatsoever,
Okay, so when they film music videos, usually they film it with either pre-recorded or like a backing track. So I kind of want to know, and you can share with the audience as well, like what are all the roles that actually go into filming a music video, and what were some of the things that you learned, or maybe that you learned?
The roles at the top of my head for music videos is usually the director. You need somebody to come up with, like a storyboard or like a plan, and then maybe you need somebody else to plan and schedule when is what, and then you need to have somebody like a stage manager, to manage the musicians, and then you have to work for welfare, and then you also need like maybe a recording engineer.
Yeah.
Okay, but that's for the recording part lah, not really the filming part. But
so how did you deal with, like, I know at the start of it you had to do so many things. So how did you firstly deal with the stress, and also how did you like find other people to help with this?
Dealing with the stress is not that difficult because it's something that I need to finish, so I didn't really have time to sit on the floor and cry.
So get a deadline.
The deadline, I mean, you can do whatever you want after the deadline, right? But then you need to meet the deadline in the first place. For the help, I think I'm lucky that I got like pretty good friends that are willing to help me take on some of these roles, because at the start I was doing like, I was the producer, I was a composer, and I was like the stage manager and the director and everything. So, but I think it could be better if I had a director, but I didn't. So, but at least I had people managing the musicians for me, doing the like whatever they need, like welfare, like food or whatever, setting up and stuff.
So where can we check out this video when it comes out?
Oh, it will be on YouTube from 25th June, which is this. Oh wait, no,
today is not. Today is not. Okay. It'll be out on 25th June. Okay, tell like which how do we find it? What's it called?
Okay, it will just be called Let the Brass Drop, the EP.
Let the Brass Drop. Okay, so we are at this part of the show where we want to get really like close and personal. Is there anything that was like really, like, really hard, like emotionally or anything like that, that either made you write a song or during the process?
Okay.
Something like that. It's our little like therapy session. So I'm talking so softly.
Do I have to talk like softly?
Yeah, we're going to lean into the mic and then like let's really.
I think something. I think something that was very difficult or like caused me extra stress was because my projects were based on the musicians, because they are all my friends and they're like very close to me, most of them. So when I wrote it, I just wanted them to play together and have fun, because I don't think they get to play an EDM track often as classical musicians. Right? So I just hope that it will be fun to break out of this, classical music kind of routine. But I think because writing for brass is a very big challenge, so there were a lot of things. Sometimes there were things that I wrote that were not very easy to play, like a little bit too difficult to play. So it caused me a lot of stress because I feel like some of them might be, frustrated.
I feel like that let them down.
Yeah, like not very happy, and I feel like I don't want to waste their time, if they don't want to be. So I think that was a part that was like hit me quite a lot.
I see. Wow, that was kind of heavy. When life gives you lemons,
you make lemonade.
Yeah. Cheers. before we end the show, let's ask Likie where we can find Let the Brass Drop and if she has any other upcoming performances.
So it's up on YouTube, so you can just search for my name or search for Let the Brass Drop, the EP, or the link in the description. And it will also be out on Spotify, so you can just search Likie Low on Spotify.
That's 25th
June 2021. Okay, obviously.
2021.
I will also be performing a live version at Esplanade on 25th and 26th September.
Wow.
Hope you catch it.
Go check it out. This has been Making Lemonade. Join us next time for more musicians in Singapore